Episode 245, when it's not about the behavior, what's really behind your reaction. Well, hey there, friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Not Your Average Autism Mom podcast. I am your host, Shannon Urquiola, mom to my amazing son, Jordan, who is now 29. I am his guardian and full-time caregiver. And if you've been here a while, you know that I get pretty real about this journey here. I talk about the things that no one prepared us for, the emotional side of parenting differently, the moments that we question ourselves, and the reactions that we wish we could take back sometimes. And if you're new here, welcome. I am so glad that you found us. Also, be sure to follow us on social media for real-time updates. And also, if you find yourself coming back from week to week to spend time with me, please do me a huge favor and take 2 minutes to leave a review. It really matters. Your reviews help us reach more moms just like us. And before I jump into today's podcast episode, I want to share something really big that happened to me and my family this week. So I want to let you know that last Sunday, we did family pictures. And for those of you that have been here with me a long time, you know, Jordan was not a fan of pictures for many, many years. And it's just been not even 3 years now. And remember, he's 29. So it's been not even 3 years now that he's started taking pictures. And the truth behind that is our social media following. He has learned that he has followers, just like those of you that listen to our podcast, that look at his pictures that I post on social media, and he reviews all the comments with me on those posts. And it's kind of his way to connect socially, because that's where he struggles the most. And this year was the first year that we did family pictures, and he willingly did them. So it was a huge deal for us. And I can't wait till we get them back so that I can share them with everyone. But that was a big deal in our world. So I'm super excited to get them back and see what they look like. He looks so handsome, and he did really great for about 20 minutes. After that, it got a little challenging, but he made it through. So big deal. So just wanted to share that with all of you that have been here, kind of through this evolution of him and pictures. If you're new here, just so you know, his picture taking in years past has always included either sticking out his tongue or flipping the bird. That was the big one that we dealt with for years and years. It's one of his go-to behaviors that we still pops up sometimes. So, but we have gotten past that. And he actually, just in the recent months, actually reminded me one morning, "Hey, are you going to take my picture?" What? So I ask him usually every morning, "Do you want me to take a picture and post it?" And, I would say now probably, 85% of the time he says yes. And when he says no, I honor that too as well. And I don't take one. So there you go. So today's episode is one of those conversations that can really change everything, because we're talking about triggers, and not your kids' triggers, but your triggers, specifically those moments that make you react instead of respond. And you know what I'm talking about, when you kind of feel that heat rise and your chest tightens, and you either shut down or you find yourself yelling before you even know what happened. And I want to say, you are not a bad mom because this happens. I promise you, this has happened to me more times than I could even count. The truth is, you're a human mom that's doing something incredibly hard. But here's the key: being triggered isn't about your child's behavior. Your child's bad behavior isn't actually the problem. It's what that behavior triggers in your nervous system. Your body's alarm system goes off. It says, "This isn't safe. I'm losing control." And before your brain can even catch up, your words or your tone or your reactions are already out there. So, in this episode, I'm going to unpack what's really going on when that happens. We're going to look at three main types of triggers. The first one is identity triggers. The next one is social triggers. And the third one is loss triggers. And I'm going to kind of explain to you and show you how you can spot those in real life. I'm going to talk about how naming your triggers can calm your nervous system, can help you respond from your higher reasoning brain instead of your reactive one, and how to repair when you don't get it right. Because let's be honest, none of us get it right all the time. So I want to start with what triggers really are. A trigger is simply your body remembering. It's your nervous system reacting faster than your logic. Something happens and it sets off this chain reaction that feels immediate. You might feel your heart race or your stomach drop or your jaw tighten or your shoulders tense. Those physical sensations, those are your body signaling that something feels unsafe. But here's what's really important. Most of the time, your child isn't in danger. It's what their behavior represents to you. Maybe it challenges your sense of control. Maybe it mirrors something that you fear. Maybe it makes you feel judged. And that's why parenting autistic children can feel so emotionally intense, because your child's needs and behaviors often hit right where your own insecurities live. And once you learn to name what kind of trigger is happening, whether that's identity or that's social or that's loss, you move from automatic reaction to intentional response. So, we're going to talk about the three triggers. The first one, I want to start with identity triggers because those are really deeply personal. Identity triggers show up when your child's behavior contradicts the parent that you want to be. You want to be calm and patient and understanding. But in the heat of the moment, you yell or you withdraw or you just fall apart. And afterwards, that harsh inner voice says you're failing. Maybe when your toddler hits another child at playgroup, you feel every eye in the room on you. Or when your, early teen refuses to go to school for the fifth day in a row, and you think, why can't I fix this? Or when your teen screams at you, you don't understand me, and slams the door. And you wonder, how did we get here? Or what if it's your young adult that refuses to participate in family gatherings or engage in therapy, and you think, obviously, I must have done something wrong. Identity triggers are sneaky because they tap into your deepest belief that good moms should know how to handle their kids, right? I know we've all thought it. So when something goes wrong, your brain doesn't say, this is hard. Your brain says, you're failing. But that isn't true. That reaction is your nervous system trying to protect your sense of self. It's saying, this doesn't match the parent that I want to be. The moment you can pause and say, this is an identity trigger, this isn't failure, it's fear. What you do is you create distance between who you are and what's happening. You are not your reactions. You are the calm that follows them. So the second part is social triggers, right? What will people think? These are the ones that hijack you with shame and comparison and the fear of judgment. They show up when you're around other people, whether that's family or friends or teachers or total strangers. And your child's behavior draws attention. You feel the eyes, the whispers, the stares, and suddenly you're not focused on your child anymore. You're focused on the audience in the grocery store that's looking at you in the checkout line. For the toddler mom, it's when your child melts down in the grocery store line and everyone is looking at you. For the, in between mom, it's when your child scripts really loudly at church and you feel embarrassed before anyone even reacts. For the teen mom, it's when your child shouts something impulsive in public and you feel those cheeks flush. Or for the young adult mom, it's when your son, is rocking or stimming in a restaurant and you feel that old instinct to make it stop. And not for his sake, but to ease your discomfort. That's what social standing triggers do. They make you perform instead of parent. You start to protect your image instead of doing what your child needs in that moment. And when that happens, I want you to remember this phrase: my child needs me more than my image does right now. That thought is an instant nervous system reset. It shifts your focus from the outside world, from judgment and comparison, back to where it belongs: your child and the moment that's right in front of you. And it makes me think about one of our members, Natalie, told this story. It's been a couple years ago, but she told this story of how she was so proud of herself because they were at Wolf Lodge, and her son began to have a meltdown they were in the hotel, and she said, I just sat down with him right in the middle of the hallway in the hotel, and in that moment, I didn't care what anyone thought. And I was so proud of her because that's such a big moment. It's not something all of us are ready to do yet. And she did it. So that's the thing. It brings you back to the moment that's in front of you and what your child needs without worrying about what everyone else is thinking. Now, the next one is loss triggers. This is all about how you thought parenting would be, right? These are the ones that quietly break your heart, the ones tied to grief and fear and the loss of the picture that you once had for your family. Loss triggers aren't just about big moments. Sometimes they're subtle, a passing reminder of what isn't. For the toddler mom, it's realizing that your child isn't meeting milestones and feeling that ache when you hear other kids just chattering away. For, the mom that's not quite a teenager, it's sitting through another IEP meeting, realizing that your child's path isn't the same as everyone else's. For the teen mom, it's watching peers go to prom or get driver's license while your child is still learning self-care skills. You're still helping them with showers. For the mom of a young adult, it's realizing that your child might not live independently, or the constant worry of what happens when you're gone. Loss triggers whisper things like, this isn't how it was supposed to be. And when they do, grief, fear, and sadness flood in. But here's the truth. Grief doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It's simply love with nowhere to go in that moment. And naming it helps you breathe through it instead of fighting it. You can say, this is grief. This is fear. This is sadness. And when you name it, your nervous system calms down. Your thinking brain comes back online. You move from spiraling to steady. And I want to talk about why naming your triggers changes everything. When you name a trigger, whether that's identity, social, or loss, your brain says, I see what's happening. And that simple act signals safety. It brings your prefrontal cortex, your rational brain, or what I like to call the thinking part of the brain, back online. You can't control your child's reaction or behavior in every moment, but you can control your awareness. And that's what keeps your nervous system from taking the wheel. So when you feel that heat rise, when your body tightens, pause and ask yourself, which trigger is this? Is it identity? Is it social? Or is it loss? Because that question alone creates a pause. And that pause is everything. That's the gap between reacting from your fear and responding from your values. It's where your child can actually hear your guidance instead of your frustration. So, I want to give you some practical strategies to that you can actually use in those moments. So, the first thing you want to do is name it. You can do it out loud or you can do it silently, right? Say what's happening. This is an identity trigger. This is grief. You can't calm what you don't acknowledge. The second thing is ground your body. Take a deep breath. Drop your shoulders. You'll feel it. Unclench your jaw. Feel your feet flat on the ground. Remember, regulation comes before reasoning for both of you. The third thing is redirect your focus. Ask yourself, what does my child need right now? That one question re-engages that thinking part of your brain and shuts off the emotional autopilot. Number 4, anchor yourself in your values. What matters most to you? Compassion, patience, respect. When you act from your values, you parent from stability, not survival. The fifth thing is repair when you react. So, what do I mean by that? Well, you're still going to have moments when you lose it. That's just the truth. We all do. So, the power is in afterwards, right? Tell your child, I was really overwhelmed earlier. I'm sorry for raising my voice. That teaches them that you're not perfect and mistakes happen more than perfection ever could teach them. Your apology after those moments will make a world of difference in your relationship for years to come. Trust me. The sixth thing is reflect afterwards. So when you've calmed down, ask yourself, what was the story that I was telling myself in that moment? Maybe it was, everyone was judging you, or maybe it was, he's never going to learn. Because awareness gives you the power to rewrite the story for next time. And listen, I want you to know that this work isn't about never being triggered again. That's not realistic. It's about recognizing that every trigger is an opportunity for you to grow. You're not failing because you have them. You're learning because you notice them. Every time you pause and breathe and choose to respond differently, even once, you're creating resilience. And above all, you're learning. Your triggers aren't the enemy. They're your teachers. They're showing you where you still need compassion and care and healing along this parenting journey. And when you pay attention to those parts of yourself, you show up differently. You become the calm in the chaos that you really want to be. You become the model of regulation that your children will learn from. And isn't that so important? We want to teach our kids this. So I hope that this episode has been helpful. I hope that you'll stop beating yourself up in those moments where you don't show up the way you want to, and that you remember to give yourself grace and learn from it. So next time you might do just a little bit better. I'm still learning and I'm still giving myself grace because, yes, I still don't show up the way I want sometimes. And I've become really good at apologizing to Jordan when that happens. And you will too. All right, before I wrap up, in case you have not heard, I am writing a book. and I'm so super excited. It's called Loving Through the Unexpected: Finding Strength, Surrender, and Acceptance, Parenting Autistic Children. It's filled with the kinds of stories and lessons that we talk about here. They're real and honest reflections about loving your children through this life that you didn't plan. So be sure to follow us on social media for behind the scenes updates and sneak peeks. And I can't wait to get it in your hands in 2026. And lastly, I just want you to know that every week I'm here because I know how hard this can be. And I want you to know that you're never walking this road alone. If you want to go deeper and connect with other amazing moms that are all walking similar paths who just get it, I invite you to join us inside our private membership, where real conversations and coaching from me and support and understanding are waiting for you. And hey, lastly, if this episode made you feel inspired or just a little more equipped to take on your day, I'd love it if you'd just take a minute and leave a review or share it with another mom who might need to hear it today. The more we share, the more moms we can lift up and help them see that happiness is possible on this parenting journey that none of us planned, but somehow we're learning to embrace it. Until next week, have a great week ahead. And above all, remember, you, mama, are doing amazing at this mom thing.